What's going on, you guys? So as you guys can tell, it's a beautiful day. It's actually a couple of days later. The weather was a little crazy, raining, cold, and whatnot. So today it's a beautiful day. We're gonna go ahead and remove the rest of the supercharger. We're actually gonna be able to pull the base of the supercharger out and be able to get to those hoses, and then probably tackle the heater core hoses, and then put the blower downstairs in the basement where we're gonna clean it up, spray paint it, make it look nice, and then hopefully get everything back on slowly and just go from there. So it's a nice day, so let's get to work.
I could be strong survival on my own, but now I'm running out of hope. I need somebody else to save me from myself, a love too precious to let go. I've been searching for some
going on, you guys? It's your boy Evan, and you know I'm always up to no good. So real quick before we end the video, I just want to explain to you guys in a little bit more detail what exactly it was that I removed, how I removed it, or what did I remove first and what did I remove last. In the video I didn't really explain much because I was focused on trying to remove the supercharger. As you may or may not know, the car had been sitting for a couple of months, so with me being busy with work, with family stuff, errands and stuff like that, video editing, taking forever to just basically edit and upload. I've just been very busy. The car was sitting for a couple of months, so I was kind of like in a rush to try to get everything ready. But before we get off topic, I just want to show you guys. So I'm going to bring the camera in. We're going to come into this little room here in the basement. I'm going to show you guys what exactly you need to do. Alright, you guys, so you guys see there's a lot of stuff here on the bench. Don't mind this stuff. I'm actually doing the same process on the green Jaguar. For those who may or may not know, I have two Jaguars. One is actually mine. The black one is actually in my name. The other one is in my mother's name. So that is my mother's car, the green one, the green Jaguar. So we're doing the same process on her car. So all this stuff will need to get addressed soon. We just basically have everything laid out because I needed to remove first all the stuff and get everything laid out so I know where everything goes, cleaned everything. I need to paint some stuff, but I'm not trying to get off topic. What I want to show you guys real quick is this part here. So let's move some of this stuff around. So when you guys do this type of job, you'll notice that the supercharger, the back side of the supercharger, imagine this is where the supercharger is. The back portion connects to this part here. This is the throttle body elbow. Obviously you're gonna have to remove the line that goes here. You're gonna have to remove this bolt here. You gotta plug some of the vacuum lines and stuff like that. You'll notice that there is a EGR that is located here in the back. Let's just remove these bolts real quick. I want to show you guys what I mean. So I'm just gonna remove these bolts real quick. So let's remove these bolts. So let's move this bolt here, remove this bolt here. As you guys can tell, this will be connected in this fashion. Like, oh, actually not. How is it connected? I believe it's connected. How the hell is this thing connected? Let's see. I don't remember exactly. Like this. Okay, so it's gonna be connected like this. There's a metal tube that will come out from the passenger side catalytic converter. If you guys have catalytic converters on your car, which I'm assuming all you Jaguar folks have the catalytic converter on your vehicle, you have a tube that comes off of it. It connects here. You do not need to remove the tube off of the catalytic converter. You just need to remove these screws from here. So I don't remember how they go. I think they go this way, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you need to remove these bolts that come off here. They'll be facing this direction. Just trying to remember how everything is laid out. Obviously I've taken this off a while ago, so everything's been laying down here in the basement. So you're going to remove these two bolts, and then you got to obviously remove these bolts here. You'll figure out the size. Obviously I don't remember the size of them. I think this is a 10 and this is an 8. I could be wrong. So remove that. But while you're doing that as well, what you're going to need to do is, obviously, there's a bracket. Oh, let's move this to the side so you guys don't get confused. So there's a bracket that's located on both sides that you need to remove. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember how the bracket goes. I don't remember how the bracket goes, but I believe it goes like this. So this bracket will be here. It's bolted on, and then this is bolted on like this, and you got a couple of screws here. Everything that is related to this, any part that is attached to this, has to come off. So you got to remove the bolt here. And from what I remember, now that it came to mind, it is actually connected to this part here. So if I remember correctly, and just remove the bolts, I'll try not to lose them. It sits something like this. So as you guys can tell, it sits like this, and then it connects to this like this. And then you got to remove on both sides. There's a bracket that also is on this side as well. So if I flip it this way, it's like this. You need to basically remove all the screws on both sides. And the reason why you want to do that and remove all the screws is because the supercharger underneath, okay, I gotta be careful I don't lose the bolts. So the reason why you want to do that is because the supercharger has a bolt underneath here, and in order to get the bolt underneath, which is the last bolt that is basically holding the bottom side of the supercharger to the top part of the motor, you need to remove this whole piece in order to get to that bolt. I don't have the superchargers here because they were sent out to get rebuilt. That will be in a later video, and you guys will figure out everything as to what's going on. Don't want to get off topic, but the bolt that's underneath has to get removed. But in order to remove it, you got to remove this. So everything over here has to get removed, including the top part of the throttle body elbow, which is the throttle body. There's a throttle body here that sits on top. You got to remove that, and you got to remove all these bolts here. Obviously, you guys will figure out how to remove it. Obviously, what extensions you need and whatnot. So everything over here in the back has to get removed. You do not need to remove that metal tube coming off the catalytic converter, which connects to the EGR or recirculating valve. So everything here needs to come off in order to remove this. Obviously, these bolts will come out. Obviously, you can put a long extension and remove these bolts here, and that's pretty much it. And then everything else is pretty straightforward. Everything that is on top will come off. This comes out. You got a couple of screws that is attached to here, so that needs to come off. And then you can remove the boost diaphragm or the vacuum diaphragm, whatever you want to call it. I'm bad with terminology, so I apologize for that. So it comes off from here. Very simple. So I just wanted to point that out. So you got to remove all the bolts that are pertaining to the supercharger, as well as this bracket. This is where the supercharger sits on top. So meaning on top, meaning that the supercharger lays on top of this, and these bolts actually hold it down. So you need to remove these bolts as well. And then anything that's relating to the supercharger, whatever has bolts that needs to come off of it, will need to come off. So that's the best way that I can explain it. I don't have the supercharger here with me, so I cannot really show you guys. And since I already did the job, this is the best way I could kind of explain it to you guys. So hopefully it was helpful to you guys. So like I said, you got this piece here, you got this piece here, you got this piece like this, connects like this, and then you got to remove everything that's around it in order to get the supercharger out. So that's pretty much it, you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little explanation. I know it's a little difficult. There is a forum that you guys can follow along on Jaguar, on the Jaguar forums, that explains a little bit in more depth how to do it. So I'm probably put that in the link in the description below, so you guys can find it and follow along. But I've done this so many times, I kind of know how to do it off of the top of my head. But that's pretty much it, you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, that's about it. What's going on, you guys? So hopefully that was explaining how to remove the back portion or the back side of the supercharger, the stuff that is connected to the supercharger, that if you don't remove, you won't be able to remove the supercharger. So the most important thing is obviously this throttle body bracket. This connects obviously to the back side or the back portion of the supercharger, and there's a bolt underneath that probably a lot of people may or may not know that needs to be removed, and that's the last piece that will allow the blower to slide out. If you don't remove that bolt, it won't come out. You can remove all the other bolts, but that's going to basically hold it down. I tried to remove it without realizing that there was a bolt there until I actually read the PDF file that shows how to remove the blower by Jaguar. So I didn't realize that, so just wanted to point that out so that you guys can actually remove it properly and not run into the same issue I did. So you basically have to remove everything that's located on the back side. Do not remove that metal tube that is coming off the catalytic converter, just the EGR, all the brackets to that throttle body that is connected to it, and any line or anything like that has to come off. So basically everything has to come off from the back side to allow the supercharger to come out. Once the supercharger comes out, you'll notice that where that bolt sits, you can actually cut that using a grinder, and you can just mark it with a marker and just make it so that the next time you need to remove the supercharger for any reason to service it, you can just basically loosen the bolt a little bit and you can just slide it right out. So you can do that. So hopefully that was helpful, and that explained a lot in the video, which I didn't show you guys. You just saw me wrenching on it and taking the supercharger out. So that's pretty much it, you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And with that being said, guys, you know the vibes. I'm out.